In today's video, we are going to discuss in detail how you can use ChatGPT as a tool if you are a coder, programmer, or college student. Last year, in November 2022, a company named OpenAI released a chatbot named ChatGPT. This chatbot works on generative AI, which is artificial intelligence that generates text or other information when provided with a prompt. Now ChatGPT is limited to text only, which means it generates textual information for us, but it is not the only AI generator in the market. There are more tools available in the market, such as image generators, which can easily convert text into images. Some apps can even generate videos for you, but ChatGPT is the most popular generative AI in the industry. There is a small metric to measure the popularity of ChatGPT, its number of registered users. Within 5 days, there were 1 million registered users of ChatGPT. If you compare this figure with Instagram, which, in social media terms, is considered to be a very addictive platform, then it took 2.5 months for Instagram to reach 1 million users and ChatGPT only 5 days. Now we can use ChatGPT in multiple ways, not only inside coding but in many general areas. We can use it to write articles, or we can use it to write a summary of a research paper. We can use it to write songs, poems, and stories. If there is any difficult topic like quantum computing that we want to understand easily from someone, then we can use it for that. We can use it to help with interview preparation. If we have to make a machine learning model for ourselves, then, for that, we can use it to generate some dummy data. We can also use it to generate code, and in fact, we can use it to solve our college assignments. But whenever we are using ChatGPT, we have to take special care of one thing: ChatGPT is not perfect. ChatGPT provides a disclaimer acknowledging that the information it generates has no guaranteed correctness. In other words, the generated text may contain errors or biases or harmful. Therefore, it is recommended for skilled individuals who already possess knowledge in a specific field to use ChatGPT as a tool, as it can help streamline their work and simplify various tasks. Therefore, as a beginner or learner, if you aim to explore or learn something entirely new, ChatGPT may not be suitable. This is because if we lack knowledge about a specific subject, we won't know whether the information generated by ChatGPT is correct or incorrect. So as a coder, as a programmer, we will get the maximum benefit of using this tool only when, whatever programming language we have or whatever technology we have, it is already good enough so that the things that we need to do in a redundant manner can be simplified. In this video, we will explore 10 things that can be done using ChatGPT. The first of which is to generate code. Now, to use ChatGPT, first sign up, and for that visit chat.openai.com by using the link. There will be 2 options, one for login and one for sign up. If you are a new user, you must sign up first. Once signed up, you will get basic options to create an account using any email address. If you have already signed up, then simply log in. After login, you will see an interface showing examples, capabilities, limitations, and whatever we talk about. You can write all the prompts and queries you want to explore with ChatGPT in this space. So here, you will write your messages. Now we will learn how to generate small codes using ChatGPT. For instance, the smileys on the internet. We will use ChatGPT to generate smiley face using HTML and CSS. Now we are going to write the prompt, generate HTML and CSS code for a smiley face. ChatGPT has generated the code for the smiley face along with an explanation of what it has done. Copy and paste the generated code into a file in Visual Studio Code, preferably an index.html file. Save the file. When you run the index.html file, the generated smiley face code will look like this. If you have knowledge of HTML and CSS and want to create a smiley face, there's a simpler approach than starting from scratch. You can generate a basic template and then make adjustments to it. However, if you're a beginner, it's challenging to determine whether the generated code is accurate. As we know HTML and CSS, we can fix it. How can we do it? Eyes are fine. We can make some changes to the mouth. We can make adjustments to the generated code, especially for the mouth. Specifically, we will set the rotation to 0 degrees, and the shape will be like this. Furthermore, we can make the mouth circle slightly more circular and adjust its width to 30 pixels. As a result, it will appear similar to this. Additionally, we have the option to increase its left distance, for instance, to 35 pixels. By moving from left to right, by following these steps, we will achieve a structure that resembles a smiley face. If we focus on the shape of the mouth, we can further enhance the smiley face effect and art by giving it the shape of a line. The core concept here is that ChatGPT allows us to generate code, but if we already have knowledge of the programming language, we can easily modify any code that might be slightly incorrect according to our preferences. Write resume. If you want to make a resume for college admission or apply for a job as a fresher in any company, then ChatGPT can help you with writing a resume. Just key in all the details that you know, and then it can generate a basic resume template for you. We will write prompt, I am 8B.Tech computer science student. I have done multiple projects using machine learning. To apply to a company for a fresher data analyst role. Generate a resume for me, and we will enter it. It has generated this response, inside which we have basic details and objectives, and our education. In skills, because I have already said that I have done machine learning and I want to apply for data analysis, so it has included the tools and technologies used for machine learning. It has included databases because that is also a part of the job, and there are different and general things that should be included in a good resume. If we want to talk about projects, then a section has been made for them, for work in progress, and if there are certificates, then for personal projects. So we got a basic template that only contains textual information about a resume, from which we can make a start. The next thing for which we can use ChatGPT is to practice for a job interview.
Wait a minute!
That means, let's say, that I have applied for a software engineering position at Google as a fresher, and my DSA's data structure and algorithms round is about to come, but right now I don't have any friends with whom I can sit and practice. I want someone to ask me questions about DSA for practice, so in this way we can write a little thing. I can write something like ask me 3 data structure and algorithm interview coding questions for a software engineer position. So I will enter it. And it asked me 3 DSA-based questions, given a string of characters, write a function to determine if it is a palindrome. We will use the stack data structure. He has already mentioned this condition. By using the binary search algorithm to search for an element in a sorted list, it gave me 3 questions. If I want, I can also level up or down the questions. That is, if I want some easy questions to be asked, then I can add here 3 easy data structures, algorithms, and interview coding questions. So now the general question he is asking me related to DSA is a very easy level question as compared to these questions. And if we want, we can also increase the level. Instead of easy, if I write difficult here after 3, after leveling up a bit, more questions will be asked of me. So after leveling up a bit, more questions will be asked of me. So earlier where stack was being used, now it has asked me the question of dynamic programming, DP, binary, and asked questions using graph theory. In this way, we can practice not only for DSA, but for theory questions. I can ask the same thing, but instead of data structures and algorithms, I can write object-oriented programming interview questions for a software engineer position. So it has asked very basic OOPS-related questions, class-related questions, and inheritance-related questions. So this is another way by which we can use it as a tool. Next, we will generate a JavaScript timer. I am about to write HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code to create a timer on screen. So a code has been generated for us, which we will copy and run. So something like this, a timer is running on my screen that is counting backwards. If I refresh it, it will restart again. And it has generated a timer of 1 minute. If we want, we can make some changes to it, like, if I want, I can start the timer at 2 minutes or I can give it 120 seconds. So I restarted. So now it will start in 2 minutes. Some of the basic code or basic things within well-known programming languages have been generated from ChatGPT. Let's take another example of the data structure algorithm. So if I want, I can generate my algorithms using ChatGPT. Let's take a very simple example of bubble sort. Generate code for bubble sort. So it has generated the JavaScript code for bubble sort. And the next thing that we can do as programmers is translate this code into any other programming language. As I am going to copy that code, we will go down and translate this code to Java. It translated the entire code into Java for us. Find bug. And one more thing that we can do is use ChatGPT to detect bugs inside the code, i.e., errors or mistakes. If I want, I can copy this code and detect the error in it. What will I do by copy-pasting the same code? After removing the 3 swapping steps inside this statement of mine, I am now going to submit the chart to GPT, so let's see if it can find out the mistake inside this code. So it detected the error in my code. The swapping step was missing in my code. So what did it detect? If the name of the function is bubble sort, then there should have been bubble sort here. It means the swapping step was missed. It has generated a new code that includes the swapping steps. Now there is another way by which we can use ChatGPT for code generation, and that is to generate more optimized code. Simply put, I can write it as generate C++ code for swapping 2 numbers. This is a very simple code that we learn very quickly in programming, so what did it do? It will generate this code in a very normal way. Now, this method is the most common way to swap 2 numbers. But I am going to provide the same input to generate the code with better time complexity. If you have heard the word time complexity for the first time, it means more optimized code that runs faster in your system for bigger inputs. Here, I am simply going to write to generate faster code, so I will write generate C++ code for swapping 2 numbers with the best time complexity. If we have to understand the basic meaning of best time complexity, it is to generate more optimized code. This code has been generated for us, and one thing you must have noticed is that these 3 lines are different from the previous 3 lines. The rest of the code is the same. Because what did it do now? The fastest way is to use the XOR operation in C++ and Java. So now it has changed a little in the way to solve 2 numbers. So in this way, we can also use ChatGPT to produce a more optimized version of the same code. Now the next thing for which we can use it is to explain any piece of code. Like if I pick up any code in C# that I do not understand because I have not learned C# yet, to explain it, I can write explain this code to me. And then, by pressing Shift and Enter, I can write my code in the next line. I can run it by pasting. So it has already detected that there is a C# code that is used to send email using the SMTP protocol. Told me the usage of my variables separately. And in the last, it has also been told that the code you have pasted is basically an example. To run it, you will need actual email credentials using the specified SMTP server. So he has written a complete explanation and given me the same code. And in fact, it can detect errors even inside this code. If I paste this and remove this comma from inside it, then I say find the error in this code. Even then, it will detect the error from inside this code because it is a very general code, so it detected the error as well, inserted the comma along with it, and gave me the correct code back. Now the codes that we are generating or the code that we are giving it are very general codes, and the maximum use of the ChatGPT should be only for generating those general codes, because if you give it a code that comes with too many complex or too many nuances, then the chances of error will increase even more. So if you are a software engineer, web developer, front-end developer, or back-end developer, You have to create APIs again and again. Or you have to do the thing of creating some button or some element inside the front end again and again. So a complete function or a snippet that might have taken you 10 to 15 minutes to write ChatGPT can be generated very easily. Then you just copy and paste it, and if there are some bugs inside it, then the work of fixing them will be left. The next thing for which we can use ChatGPT is to ask for Git commands. That is, if we use git again and again, then there are many commands, so now that we forget them, we can use ChatGPT to find which Git to use in which situation. I can ask it Git command to combine multiple Git commits into one. What did it do? It told me which commands I had to use, and through which process I had to complete that thing. If I want, I can also ask very basic things inside Git, like Git command to commit changes. So there is a very basic command that it will generate and give me. So it has generated the whole process of commit and push for us in a way. The next thing for which we, as coders, can use ChatGPT is to write documentation. If I talk about my old code, this was my C# code with SMTP. What can I do for its documentation? I can write documentation for my code. What did it do? It has generated proper documentation for the entire small piece of code. And its major advantage can be in open source, because many times we create many Git repos, and if we have to generate a README file, then what can we do instead of writing it ourselves? We can use ChatGPT to generate it. Or for college-level projects, if we want to generate our documentation, then we can do that. If you are working inside a company and you paste the big codes here and generate their documentation, then it will generate more complex and incorrect output for you. But for simple things, we can use this thing well for things up to the project level. Look for roadmaps. And one last way in which we can use it is if we have to learn any new technology, such as programming or coding, or go into a new field, then we can also use it to generate a roadmap. Although I will not give much advice about this method, sometimes the roadmap that comes with it has multiple things in it, out of which we have to learn only one thing, but there is not much clarification about it. If I want, I can say, generate a roadmap to become a front-end engineer. Which technologies to learn? Now here, the process that he has described is exactly the same, but if I ask the same question in a slightly different way, like I want to become a front-end engineer. What should I learn? Like, I want to be a software engineer. What should I learn? Now it has generated a good roadmap for all those in software engineering, but as a fresher, you should learn programming languages, data structure algorithms, you should have knowledge of databases, and any kind of web development. If you do not do web development and do app development, then that will also work. But that thing is not specified here. So only a human or a mentor or a senior or teacher in your college can tell that apart from this thing, you can do this thing. Apart from this, there should be knowledge of version control, which is good. If you learn at the college level, then it would be good to know about testing and debugging, but you should also know about cloud computing, but as a fresher, extensive knowledge of cloud computing is not required. If you are interviewing for companies like Google, Microsoft, or Amazon, if you have basic knowledge of agile development, it is seen as a plus. Not much is expected of you regarding agile development in a fresher role. Soft skills are important, but you will not be judged harshly in tech interviews for that. So maximum things have been told correctly, but if you want to see it from a guidance perspective or from the perspective of learning new things, then a human touch becomes a bit necessary there. If you will ask your seniors, you will understand better and you will get an experienced perspective. But definitely, ChatGPT is a very good tool. If an experienced person already wants to use it to optimize his day-to-day work, which is the work of coding, this tool will keep improving with time. And we never know if we will get better AI tools available in the coming years that will make the lives of coders easier. So Moonpreneur understands the importance of preparing for the rapidly changing technological world. That's why we offer online STEM programs to help kids master futuristic sciences like robotics, game development, app development, and more. Register for a free 60-minute workshop today and begin your journey to success. So make sure you book a free class right away. The link is in the description. I hope you liked this tutorial, and if you want any videos related to this tutorial or even related to AI, you can tell me about them by commenting below. That's all for today. See the next video, then keep learning and exploring.